Hello, my name is Aviva, and today I'm going to be sharing with you the 35 new books that I recently added to my library. The majority of these books I did purchase myself, and I've even read a handful of them already, so you might recognize them if you've seen a couple of my recent videos or if you follow me on Instagram, but a handful of these were also gifted to me, and I always like starting off with all the books that were gifted because I appreciate them so much when somebody takes the time to send me a book. So with that said, first up, I do have Obsessed by Ivy Smoke, which was sent to me by one of my Instagram followers named Jules. She said that she read this on Kindle and she really enjoyed it. I think that it's some sort of teacher student forbidden romance that's really spicy, and it's part of some sort of series, but I haven't done too much research into it yet, so I don't really know much about it, but I'm very excited to check it out. So thank you so much, Jules, for sending this to me. I really appreciate it. And then another book that was sent to me by a follower is The Hookup by Kristen Callahan. So this is the first book in the, I think it's called the Game On Companion series, and it's, I'm pretty sure, a hockey romance. Maybe it's a football romance. I'm not really sure. It is football because there's a football on the cover. But either way, this girl named Elise, she follows me on Instagram, and she said that she recently read this and she really enjoyed it. So I am very excited to check this out because it's been on my wish list for a very long time, and I just never purchased it, but I have been very intrigued to read this for a while now. So hopefully I will get to this one soon. Thank you so much to Elise for sending this to me. I really appreciate it. Next, I was sent a book by an author, which is Sins for Cigarettes. And the author's name is Genesis. I think I'm saying that wrong, but either way, I honestly don't know much about this, but I'm excited to check it out because I've already seen a couple of people post about this, and they said really good things. So I mean, I think it's some sort of new adult, but honestly, I have no idea. It says something about this girl's becoming a dancer, and I don't really know what else. A rising soccer player. I don't know. It looks good. I'm excited, and it has a very nice cover. So thank you so much to this author for sending this to me. And then another book that was sent to me by an author recently is All the Little Things by Rachel Leigh. So this is her new standalone romance, and I'm pretty sure this is a new adult brother's best friends, and I am very excited to read this. So thank you, Rachel Leigh, for sending this to me. I very much appreciate it. And then a couple of books that was sent to me by Dark and Quirky. They're this book box, and I'm now a rep for them. And I even have a code in case you're into dark romances, motorcycle romances, reverse harems, everything along those lines. They make special edition covers for them, and they sent me a couple of books just so that I could have a couple of their stuff because I'm now a rep for them. And I have a code for you. It's Aviva10, and you can save at checkout if you use that. So I'll have that link down below, as well as their website, in case you want to look up their stuff. But a couple of the books that they did send me was Inked in Lies by Gianna Darling, which is, I think it's the fifth book in her what is it, the Motorcycle Club, I don't know what it's called, but it's the Lessons in Corruption, and then Welcome to the Dark Side, that whole series. This is the fifth book in it, and this is an absolutely beautiful cover, so I'm so happy to add this to my collection. So I'm very happy that the Dark and Quirky bookish box sent this to me. And then another book that I've actually already read is Darling Venom by Parker S. Huntington. So this is their special edition cover, and I really enjoyed this book when I read it a month or two ago, so I am very excited to have this really beautiful special edition. So this is awesome. And then a couple of their books that I've never really heard of before, but they sent me anyway, was this book called Poisoned Paradise by Lucy Smoke. I have absolutely no idea what it's about, but I'm sure it is some sort of dark romance because that is their specialty. And then another book that they sent me is Making the Cut by Anne Malcolm, and it's part of the Sons of Templar series. And I think this is a motorcycle club romance of sorts, but honestly, I'm not too sure. And then the last book that they sent me is Hostile Saints. It looks like Gostile, but I'm pretty sure the word is hostile. Anyway, this is by India R. Adams, and I have no idea what this book is about, but I like the cover, so I'm very excited to add it to my collection. So thank you again to Dark and Quirky for sending me all of these books, and check out my code and their website if you are interested in looking up some of their special edition book covers. But anyway, next up, I got this book called The Insiders by Tejan, and my reasoning for getting this book is because St. Martin Publishing, the people who published this book, they sent me the second book in this series when it came out, except I know that it's one storyline, so I have to read book one first, but I didn't own it. So I basically bought myself book one so that I can hopefully get to book two, which was gifted to me by the publisher. So that is my reasoning behind this book. I honestly have absolutely no clue what it's about, but it looks really good. So that's all I need to know. I don't like knowing too much about books before I get into it, because then I get into my head and I'm like, oh, I don't want to read it. So better not to know too much about it. So yeah, this is the next book that I got. And then another book that I purchased myself is Praise by Sarah Kate. So I'm pretty sure that this is an ex-boyfriend's older father romance, so age gap, and I'm pretty sure it has something to do with a sex club. Honestly, I don't know too much about it, but I've seen a lot of people read this lately and say really good things. So I just kind of like picked it up on a whim, and I figured like the next time I'm in the mood for like a spicy age gap, older guy sort of romance, I'll pick this one up. So yeah, that is why I got this one. And then I also picked up these two books, Baking Me Crazy and then Batter of Wits by Carla Sorensen. So these are like really tiny books. And honestly, I didn't realize they were like this small when I purchased them. I thought they were like normal sized books, but they're a kind of tiny, but it's okay. I thought that they were really cute. And I've been trying to read a lot of Carla Sorensen lately because I've been really enjoying her writing. So these were just like, I don't know, two random ones that I found by her. I think that this is I've been friends with you for a very long time, and now that you're single, I'm going to tell you that I love you or something like that. Like like unrequited love sort of situation, I think. And then this one, I have absolutely no clue what it's about, but yeah, I guess I'll figure it out when I read it. So those are those two books. And then I also picked up this book called The Mixtape by Brittany Cherry. So this is a single mom with this guy who is part of a band. And I'm pretty sure that like, while this is a romance, I think that they're also like both dealing with like their own stuff, and they're kind of just gonna like be there for each other and have a romance while they're dealing with things. Because I'm pretty sure this guy, he was in a band with his twin brother, and at the beginning of the book, like the brother dies. So now he's got to like figure out his life, like, oh, how do I continue my career? And also like my twin brother just passed away, you know? And then also this girl is like a single mom, and I'm sure that she's dealing with stuff too. So this sounds really good. I'm excited to read it. Hopefully I will get to it soon. And then I also finally decided that I am going to finish up Mariana Zapata's backlog. And the only 4 books that I've never read by her yet are these 4. So we have Hands Down, and then The Best Thing, and then Rhythm, Chord, and Malakin, and then Lingus. So I've been pushing these books off for a very long time because I didn't think that I was going to love them as much, because Hands Down is a childhood best friend to lover situation, which is not always my favorite type of trope, but I decided that I want to read all of her books just so that I could say I've done it. So I got this one. I'm going to try it out anyway. And then this one, I'm pretty sure, is the first book that she's ever read, and you're following like a porn star of sorts. So that never really intrigued me. But again, I'm just reading it for the heck of it. And then Rhythm, Chord, and Malakin. I've heard mixed things about it because like it's very like tiny book, so that's not very like Mariana Zapata style. So I've heard that like this is like less slow burny than her normal stuff, but I'm down to check it out. It's about like these people in a band. I don't really know much more about it. I think this girl is just going to go on tour with them, and she's going to have, you know, a relationship with Malakin, who's the head of the band, and the band is called like Rhythm and Chord or something. I don't really know, but we will find out pretty soon, because I'm sure that I will read this over the next little bit. And then the last Mariana Zapata one is The Best Thing, which is a second chance romance, and I'm not a fan of second chance romances, but I'm just gonna read it so that I can say I've read every single Mariana Zapata book. So that is why I got this one, and hopefully it will not be too bad, even though I'm not a fan of the general trope. So we will see about this one. But anyway, I also decided to pick up this duet, which is Binding 13 and then Keeping 13 by Chloe Walsh. So these books are freaking massive. They're literally gigantic. And I don't know much about the series, but I've seen 2 people talk about it. I saw Larry Reed's, she has a channel, and she's like very popular on TikTok and here on YouTube. And she said that this was one of her best books that she read so far this year. And then I saw another person that I follow on Instagram reread these books, and she gave them like 5 stars. She absolutely loves them. So I asked her about it, and she said like, yeah, go for it. It's really good. So from what she told me, I'm pretty sure that like you're following a bunch of people. I don't know if it's like high school or not, but like either way, I don't know, you're following like a bunch of people, and then there's gonna be like a romance that happens like, you know, at the same time. Like it's not necessarily like just romance. I think it's just like a story about like a bunch of like a big group of friends or something. But like I honestly could be super wrong about that. But either way, I'm just kind of gonna go in blind because I've heard that, you know, these are gonna be a very wild ride. So we'll see how these go. But yeah, they're freaking massive. Oh my God. Holy crap. The freaking font is tiny. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm gonna read this anytime soon, because like freaking massive book and tiny letters mean that it's even bigger than it really looks. So we'll see about these, but I'll get to them one day. And then anyway, let me grab the rest of the books. The next one that I got is Wildcat by Rebecca Genshak. I feel like I'm saying that wrong. But either way, I actually recently read this, and if you follow me on Instagram, then you probably already saw my review about this, but I didn't really enjoy this book. But I'm not going to get into it now. I'll talk about it more when I do my next wrap up. But this is just like a hockey romance. You're following this guy who ends up, falling for his coach's daughter. So forbidden romance situation. Yeah, I didn't love this, so I'll just say that now. But either way, after that, I also got this book called Swing and Then Switch, which is book 2 and book 3 in the Landry Family Companion series. So I actually already read book 2, and I talked about it in one of my recent wrap-ups, and I didn't absolutely love it, but it's like a sports romance. This guy's a baseball player, and then he just ends up having a romance. And this one I have not read yet, and I'm pretty sure this is a workplace environment with this guy who's gonna end up having a thing with his new assistant. So I'm actually very down to read this one because I met this guy in the past 2 books, and I am very intrigued by him. So hopefully this one will be better than the second one, because I really liked the first book in this series. The second one just was it felt a little bit repetitive, but hopefully book 3 will be much different. So we'll see about these, but very excited for those. And then another book that I got by Adriana Locke is Like You Love Me. So I don't know if this is a standalone or if it's part of a companion series. I honestly kind of forgot, but I do know that it is a marriage of convenience between 2 childhood best friends. This girl, I think she needs save her in or something like that. So for whatever reason, she's going to end up getting into a marriage of convenience with her best friend. And then they're going to end up falling in love with each other. So I am super, super down for that because it sounds like, a recipe for a good book. And then I also got, these 2 books. So Reckless Refuge and then Wrecked Palace by Catherine Cowell. So these are part of a companion series, and I don't know which numbers these are. I think this might be 4 and this might be 5, or this might be 3 and this might be 4. I'm not really too sure, but I've read this one already, and I'm excited to read this one. So this one I read, and I think, did I talk about this in my last recent wrap up of my mid-month wrap up for June? I don't remember. But either way, this is a romantic suspense about this girl who's hiding from someone in her past, and then this guy who is running away from something in his past, and then they're going to fall in love, and then at the same time, the things from their past are going to come back to haunt them, sort of thing. And also it's an age gap. So this was an okay read, not my favorite, but I think that this one might be a single parent. I might be wrong about that because I don't see anything about that on the back of the book, but I remember looking this up, and I feel it had something good, a good trope in it that made me want to buy it. So I bought it, and hopefully I will enjoy it. But this is another romantic suspense because Catherine Cowell likes to write a lot of that. So yeah, Reckless Palace, and how freaking beautiful are these covers? Her design, this watercolor vibe is super up my alley. So all of her covers are absolutely beautiful. Honestly, that's half the reason why I purchased these. But either way, after that, I did get a handful of books from Candy Steiner. So I've been trying to read a bunch of Candy Steiner lately, and I've already read the top 4 books. So I'll go through them quickly. First, I have The Right Player and then The Wrong Game, which is 2 companion books. So this one comes first, and then this one. This one's actually, they're both football romances. This girl is obsessed with football, and she ends up bringing a new guy to each football game because she has season tickets, and then she's gonna fall for the first guy that she brought to the first game. And then this one is where this girl falls in love with a professional football player. So these 2 girls are best friends, and I liked this book. I didn't like this book, but I got them recently and I've already read them, so I wanted to share them with you. And then I also got this book called Revelry, which is about this small mountain town over the summer sort of relationship. This girl ends up renting a cottage, and then she's gonna fall in love with one of her neighbors. I read this, I spoke about it in a recent wrap up of mine, so I'm not gonna go over it again, but I did get it recently. And then last, I also recently read On the Way to You by Candy Steiner, which is a road trip romance, and there are trigger warnings in this book for depression and suicide. So this one did not very much work for me, but I just talked about it in my last recent wrap up, so I'm not going to repeat myself. I'll just have those, I'll have my last 2 wrap ups, linked down below, because whatever books I said I've already read were mentioned in those videos. So in case you want to hear my thoughts on the ones that I read, you could just watch those. But either way, one book that I have not read yet by Candy Steiner is Fair Catch, which is the first book in, I think, her newest companion series of sorts, and I'm pretty sure this is some sort of brothers, best friend, enemies to lovers, forced proximity sports romance. I don't know much else about it, but I saw somebody post about it and like they tagged all of those tropes in it. So I just purchased it and I figured I'd give it a shot. So I haven't read this one by Candy Steiner, but I'll probably get to it soon because it's the last one that I have by her. And I'm planning on meeting her next month when I go to Book Bonanza. So I love to read as many books as I can by her before I meet her, you know? But anyway, after that, I just have a couple of more books that I've already read and spoke about in my last wrap up. So I'm just going to run through them super quickly. And that is The Front Runner by Elsie Silver, which is the third book in the Gold Rush Ranch companion series. This book was okay, but not my favorite in the series, but it was still a fine time. And then also Call Me Crazy by Melanie Harlow, which is an enemies to lovers marriage of convenience that I did not end up loving, but I did purchase it recently, so I have to show you what I got, you know what I mean? And then I also have A Million Kisses in Your Lifetime by Monica Murphy, which I recently read, and I absolutely loved it. Like this was a book that like super surprised me. I didn't think I was gonna like it as much as I did, but I ended up falling super hard for it. So yeah, if you wanna hear more about what I thought about this though, because I did have a couple of issues with it, watch my last wrap up that is linked down below. And then lastly, I have Consider Me by Becca Mack, which I have been talking about way too often recently. I spoke about it on Instagram a ton, and then I posted all about it on TikTok, and then I spoke about it in my last wrap up, and then I also made a video all about this because it's an I Was a Player Until I Met You vibe. So I made an entire romance trope video based off of this book because I loved it so much. So yeah, I recently got this. I absolutely loved it, and that is the completion of the 35 books that I have recently added to my library. So thank you so much for watching. Let me know what books you've recently purchased, or if you're planning on getting any of the books that I mentioned in today's video, because I mean, there were a lot of books to choose from. So either way, give this video a like and subscribe if you're not subscribed. Thank you so much for watching. I very much appreciate it. And until next time, enjoy reading.